Huh, that worked. All right, I'll add that to my troubleshooting video. Pseudo system. I'm assuming this worked. I mean, it could be anything at this point. I have no idea. Pseudo system CTL restart network manager. And then sending those resolve CTL commands again. All right. So if you're watching this in repeat, I've just edited out an hour and a half of troubleshooting the network and DNS. The solution was to leave the room and rejoin it twice, and then send a network system CTL restart network manager command, and then our DNS configuration commands again. And finally, it seems to have worked, but at what cost and for how long? So, AD enumeration, also, aka DNS troubleshooting. We're going to do enumeration through Bloodhound. Since I am going to start the edit here, I'm going to have to read this again, rereading it. All right. Lastly, we will look at performing AD enumeration using Bloodhound. Bloodhound is the most powerful AD enumeration tool to date. Mosquitoes. And when it was released in 2016, it changed the AD enumeration landscape forever. Bloodhound history. For a significant amount of time, red teamers and unfortunately attackers had the upper hand. I think I do better when I read fast. So much so that Microsoft integrated their own version of Bloodhound and its advanced threat protection solution. It all came down to the following phrase: defenders think in lists, attackers think in graphs. Unknown. Bloodhound allowed attackers, and by now defenders too, to visualize the AD environment in a graph format with interconnected nodes. Each connection is a possible path that could be exploited to reach a goal. Contrast, the defenders used lists, like a list of domain admins or a list of all the hosts in the environment. This graph-based thinking opened up a world to attackers. It allowed for a two-staged attack. In the first stage, the attackers would perform phishing attacks to get an initial entry to enumerate AD information. This initial payload was usually incredibly noisy and would be detected and contained by the blue team before the attackers could perform any actions apart from exfiltrating the enumerated data. However, the attackers could now use this data offline to create an attack path in graph format, showing precisely the steps and hops required. Using this information during the second phishing campaign, the attackers could often reach their goal in minutes once a breach was achieved. It is often even faster than it would take than the blue team to receive their first alert. This is the power of thinking in graphs, which is why so many blue teams have also started to use these types of tools to understand their security posture better. SharpHound. You will often hear users refer to SharpHound and Bloodhound interchangeably. However, they are not the same. SharpHound is the enumeration tool of Bloodhound. It is used to enumerate the AD information that can then be visually displayed in Bloodhound. Bloodhound is the actual GUI used to display the AD attack graphs. Therefore, we first need to learn how to use SharpHound to enumerate AD before we can look at the results visually using Bloodhound. There are three different SharpHound collectors: .ps1, PowerShell script for running SharpHound. However, the latest version of SharpHound has stopped releasing the PowerShell script version. This version is good to use with RATs, remote access Trojans, since the script can be loaded directly into memory, evading on-disk AV scans. .exe, a Windows executable version for running SharpHound. .ps1, PowerShell script for running SharpHound for Azure, Microsoft Cloud Computing Services instances. Bloodhound can ingest data enumerated from Azure to find attack paths related to the configuration of Azure IAM. Note your Bloodhound and SharpHound versions must match for the best results. Usually there are updates made to Bloodhound, which means old SharpHound results cannot be ingested. This network was created using Bloodhound v4.1.0. I think they mean created using SharpHound. Please make sure to use this version with the SharpHound results, because SharpHound is the only thing that you can run from the jump box, and you run Bloodhound from your attack box, which is the VM. But I have not found that there is any problem running the latest version of Bloodhound with their SharpHound results. When using these collector scripts on an assessment, there's a high likelihood that these files will be detected as malware and raise an alert to the blue team. This is again where a Windows machine that is non-domain joined can assist. We can use the run as command to inject the AD credentials and point SharpHound to the domain controller. Since we control this Windows machine, we can either disable the AV or create exceptions for specific files or folders, which has already been performed for you on the THM jump machine. You can find the SharpHound binaries on the host in the C tools directory. We will use the SharpHound executable version for our enumeration, but feel free to play around with the other two. We will execute SharpHound as follows: sharphound.ex, blah, 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 blah. Parameters explained. Collection methods determines what kind of data SharpHound we would collect. The most common options are default or all. Also, since SharpHound caches information once the first run has been completed, you can only use the session collection method to retrieve new user sessions to speed up the process. Domain. Here we specify the domain we want to enumerate. In some instances, you may want to enumerate a parent or other domain that has trust with your existing domain. You can tell SharpHound which domain should be enumerated by altering this parameter. Exclude DCs. This will instruct SharpHound not to touch domain controllers, which reduces the likelihood that the SharpHound run will raise an alert. All right, it's a good stopping place. Because, as noted, we have to do credential injection on our jump machine that we're going to SSH into. So we're going all the way back to task 1. We also have to get credentials. We already have some, but you can never really have too many credentials, right? So I'm going to CD, and yeah, there we go. Task 1 is where our creds text is, nano. Yeah, just do that. And we're going to go down to here and save modify butter. Yes. So we're going to SSH in, but we're not Maurice Palmer anymore, which I kept referring to as Maurice Parker. And that took up 20 minutes to realize what I had done and why I wasn't getting in. Oh my God, can I type? Moment of truth. So far, so good. Yay, we're in. So we're no longer on our Linux box. We're on a Windows jump box. So we're on a machine within a machine within a machine. Yo, dog, I heard you like machines. All right, let's see here. I think we go straight to running the credential injection. Hey, Coda. What do you need? Jump up. Come on, kitty. Coda, kitty. Come on. Jump up. All right, but that's as far as you go. You can't jump up on the keyboard. Did I copy this yet? Come on. She gives me a dirty look as soon as I stop petting her. If you ever forget your username, just look at the prompt. That's one to grow on. Or no, wait, for your health. Oh, did I close that out already? I need to use like a password history manager. I think my poor cat has a eye infection, but every time I try to give her medicine, she just like grooms it off of her. It's not coming up? Alright, whatever. Let's just leave this up for now, shall we? Wait, no, paste clipboard. It really doesn't give us any feedback if it worked. I'm going to paste clipboard again. All right, we're in. I gotta get a supercut of people saying we're in so I can press a button on my Stream Deck, which is not currently working, and play that clip every time that we're in. You can find all the various SharpHound parameters here. It is good to overview the other parameters since they may be required depending on your red team assessment circumstances using your SSH PowerShell session for the previous task. Copy the SharpHound binary to your AD users documents directory. All right, and this hung me up a while previously because there was a task where you had to create a user directory, but here it's just asking you to use the one that's already there. So let's do that now. And the reason we have to copy it to this directory, I think, is because it's, I think the reason is permissions related. What am I missing? I vaguely remember having the exact same problems last night. Not derf. Not derf. What is going on? So there is SharpHound. I don't know why typing it out is better than copying and pasting. Oh, I should be in PowerShell, huh? That's why it's not working. I think. I hope. Always look at the prompts. I keep saying that, but I don't take my own advice. All right. Now we're going to run the PowerShell command here. I think there was a. I think we're supposed to type in some sort of pseudo granting powers when we load a PowerShell. I don't think it's enough to just type in PowerShell, but I'm not entirely sure what the command is. Anyways, I think you can correct it by doing that. You can. All right, so we're running that, and that's good. Yay. It'll take about 1 minute for SharpHound to perform the enumeration in larger organizations. This can take quite a bit longer, even hours to execute for the first time. Once completed, you'll have a timestamped zip file in the same folder you executed SharpHound from. We can now use Bloodhound to ingest this zip to show us attack paths visually. Bloodhound, as mentioned before, Bloodhound is the GUI that allows us to import data captured by SharpHound and visualize it into attack paths. Bloodhound uses Neo4j as its backend database and graphing system. Neo4j is a graph database management system. If you're using the attack box, you may use the red Bloodhound icon in the dock to launch it. In all other cases, make sure Bloodhound and Neo4j are installed and configured on your attack machine. Either way, it is good to understand what happens in the background. Before we can start Bloodhound, we need to load Neo4j, and this is where I got into a lot of problems last time, and I don't think it's going to come up this time because we've already run Neo4j once, but I swear, and I have to go back and look at it again, but it asked, when you first run it, it says you have to update the username and password. The emphasis should have been on username there. I swear it said create a new username and password. And so I was kind of banging my head. I just kind of blanked. I assumed that's what I was doing and typed in a new username and password. But apparently what I was doing was typing in the password and password confirmation. So then I tried to log in with the newly created, in my mind, username, and that did not work. So that's finished running. So we shouldn't. I'm gonna have to review last night's stream, but I swear it said I had to create a new username as well, and that led to like 20 minutes of me banging my head against the keyboard. All right, load. Oh, the other thing is, watch this. Yeah, let's do that. See, that doesn't work. What you actually have to do is leave out the console parameter. Ta-da! And that took me another 20 minutes of banging my head against the keyboard. is available. Da 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 da. Wait, Control Shift C, not Control C. So now we're going to go into the browser, which is right here. I don't even have to click on it. And we're already logged in. Okay. I wonder if this is going to cause problems because we did this room last night and everything's already saved for us. All right, we could just launch Bloodhound from up here. We don't have to be super command line hackers all the time. Success! How refreshing it is not have to spend probably at least an hour just getting Neo4j loaded up and logged in and logged into Bloodhound. All right, but now we gotta go back and read this. You can run this from the command line, but you don't have to. The default credentials for the Neo4j database will be All right, use this to authenticate into Bloodhound. To import our results, you will need to recover the zip file from the Windows host. The simplest way is to use a secure copy command on your attack box. Yeah, and so, okay, so two things happened last night that were bad. I forgot that period, and I also kept using the wrong username. I used Maurice Parker instead of Maurice Palmer or whatever. But this time around, we are who? Who are we? We're Joel Pierce, and that is our password. Not O'Ears. Pierce. And what is our SharpHound zip name? Nope. We want to be here. Here's our zip. And back here. Nope. And back here. That doesn't seem right. Oh no. It's what I get for trying to briefly enjoy life. You gotta be super serious all the time. What's ip? All right. Getting close here. There we go. Nope. Oh my god. Whew. Password. I gotta get a password history manager. I know I keep saying that, but I really do. Oh, is it Joel Pierce? I'm spelling Pierce wrong for number one. All right, let's double check that. Let's go to the correct place to double check that. Joel Pierce looks good. Oh, God. Yay! We're able to secure copy a file. Once you provide the password, this will copy the results to your current working directory, drag and drop the zip file onto the Bloodhound GUI to import into Bloodhound. It will show that it is extracting the files and ingesting the import. Yay! All right, let's do that then. Can I snap this? I can if I press the right key, so that's good. And we want to get into a directory here. Where did I download it to? Alright, so here it is, and here's Bloodhound, and oh, do I have to delete all this? How do I delete all this? Delete graph. I mean, it's the same database info. Purge database. All right, so I'm looking in ChatGPT how to start Bloodhound all over, and I'm worried that it might not work. So I'm just going to pretend drag that over there, and ta-da! Magically, it updated everything. It's the same file each time, so we don't have to actually do that. After I accomplish all this, I'll try restarting it just for demonstration purposes and my own edification. But for now, let's just pretend like we ingested a whole new file and yada yada yada. Once all JSON files have been imported, we can start using Bloodhound to enumerate attack paths from this specific domain. There are several attack paths that Bloodhound can show. Pressing the three stripes next to search for a node will show the options. And the other thing that happened last night was there was some glitch where there were two fields here, and it kept screwing up, confused me for a while. Note that if you import a new run of SharpHound, it would cumulatively increase these counts. First, we'll look at, so it's a good thing we didn't actually copy that over. Let's search for our AD account in Bloodhound. You must click the node to refresh the view. Click on the node to refresh the view. What does that mean? Can I just do that? Anyways, let's search for Joel dot. Hey, we found us. All right. And I clicked on the node. I think that's what they wanted. Previously, it seemed like I had to hold control down to do this, but maybe not. All right. You must click on the node to refresh the view. Also note you can change the label scheme by pressing left control. The label scheme. I'm pressing. Did that zoom? No, that's the scroll wheel. I don't know what they mean. All right. We can see that there's a significant amount of information returned regarding our use. Each of the categories provided is the following information overview, provides summaries of information such as the number of active sessions the account has and if it can reach high value targets. Node properties shows information regarding the AD account such as the display name and the title. Extra properties provides more detailed AD information such as the distinguished name and when the account was created. Group membership shows information regarding the groups that the account is a member of. Local admin rights provides information on domain joined hosts where the account has administrative privileges. I really do read these better when I read as fast as I possibly can. Execution rights means that I don't have time to screw up. Provides information on special privileges such as the ability to run remote desktop protocol into a machine. Outbound control rights, and then I jinxed myself by saying that, shows information regarding AG objects where this account has permissions to modify their attributes. Inbound control rights provides information regarding AD objects that can modify the attributes of this account. If you want more information in each of these categories, you can press the number next to the information query. For instance, let's look at the group membership associated with our account. By pressing the number next to first degree group membership, we can see that our account is a member of 2 groups. Where's the node info? Scrolling. First degree group memberships. Let's click on the number. And it shows us visually that we are also part of the group's domain users and internet access. Cool. Next, we'll be looking at the analysis queries. These are queries that the creators of Bloodhound have written themselves to enumerate helpful information. Pre-built analytic queries. I'm not seeing what they're talking about. Remember correctly, it's over here somewhere? No. Database info. Ooh, wait. Clear database. Okay, so that seems like the easiest way to do that. Analysis. It's under analysis, everybody. When they said that we'll be looking at analysis queries and then screenshotted that, they weren't lying. Under the domain information section, we can run the find all domain admins query. Note that you can press left control to change the label display settings. You said that before. I don't know what that means. All right. Find all domain admins. Cool. I'm going to left control. I don't know if that. What's a label display setting? Anyways. The icons are called nodes and the lines are called edges. Let's take a deeper dive into what Bloodhound is showing us. There is an AD user account with the username of TO, that's tier 0, Tinus Green, that is a member of the tier 0 admins. But this group is a nested group in the domain admins group, meaning all users that are part of the tier 0 admins group are effectively DAs, domain administrators. Furthermore, there is an additional AD account with the username of administrator that is part of the domain admins group. Hence, there are 2 accounts in our attack surface that we can probably attempt to compromise if we want to gain DA rights. Since the administrator account is a built-in account, we would likely focus on the user account instead. Each AD object that was discussed in the previous task can be a node in Bloodhound, and each will have a different icon depicting the type of object it is. If we want to formulate an attack path, we need to look at the available edges between the current position and privileges we have and where we want to go. Bloodhound has variable available edges that can be accessed by the filter icon. Filter icon. Right, there we go. I found it. You gotta celebrate the small victories. These are also constantly being updated as new attack vectors are discovered. We'll be looking at exploiting these different edges in a future network. However, let's look at the most basic attack path using only the default and some special edges. We'll run a search in Bloodhound to enumerate the attack path. Press the path icon to allow for path searching. Path icon. Let's get rid of this for now, I think. Okay, I think this is the path icon. Alright. Okay, so it wasn't a glitch, it's a feature. It's not a bug, it's a feature, but I didn't understand. At the time, I encountered this prior to reading this section. Our start node would be our AD username, and our end node will be the Tier 1 admins group, since this group has administrative privileges over servers. Reading this stuff out loud, I just don't take it in as well as if I were reading it in my head. Alright, so here's our starting position, and our end node will be the Tier 1 admins group, since this group has administrative privileges over servers. This makes our attack path trivial, which I guess was the idea all along. Cool. So where are we? Zoom out. I'm zooming out. That's as far out as you can go, apparently. Okay, so where are we? Oh my god. What is going on? Let's just enlarge this window, shall we? How come it's not showing us? We have to click on a node to refresh. Why am I not seeing it? I gotta hit play. No data returned from query. Turns it off. Like, we type this in, now what? Hitting enter doesn't seem to elicit anything. See, one of these things does not look like the other, and I want them to look alike. set as starting node, set as ending node, expected parameters, target ID. Do they mean the object ID? Edit node. All right, I'm going to skip over this section, revisit it on my own time. If there's no available attack path using the selected edge filters, Bloodhound will display no results found. Note this may also be due to a Bloodhound SharpHound mismatch, meaning the results were not properly ingested. Maybe that's the case. I wonder if no results found is the same thing as no data returned from query. Anyways, however, in our case, Bloodhound shows an attack path. It shows that one of the T1 admin's account broke the tiering model by using their credentials to authenticate to THMJMP1, which is a workstation. It also shows that any user that is part of the domain users group, including our AD account, has the ability to RDP into this host. Let's see, broke the tiering model by using their credentials to authenticate. I think by tiering model they mean least privileges, maybe? It sounds like he wasn't supposed to log into the workstation using his admin credentials. We could do something like the following to exploit this path. Use our AD credentials to RDP into THMJMP1. Look for a privilege escalation vector on the host that would provide us with administrative access. Using administrative access, we can use credential harvesting techniques such as Mimikatz. Since T1 admin has an active sessions on THMJMP1, our credential harvesting would provide us with the NTLM hash of the associated account. This is a straightforward example. The attack paths may be relatively complex in normal circumstances and require several actions to reach the final goal. If you are interested in the exploits associated with each edge, the following Bloodhound documentation provides an excellent guide. Bloodhound is an incredibly powerful AD enumeration tool that provides in-depth insights into the AD structure of an attack surface. It is worth the effort to play around with it and learn its various features. Session data only. The structure of AD does not change very often in large organizations. You know, I wish they would just update SharpHound on the jump box. I mean, that would be the best solution, right? Keep everything up to date. There may be a couple of new employees, but the overall structure of OU's groups, users, and permissions will remain the same. However, the one thing that does change constantly is active sessions and logon events. Since SharpHound creates a point-in-time snapshot of the AD structure, active session data is not always accurate since some users may have already logged off their sessions or new users may have established new sessions. This is an essential thing to note and is why we should want to execute SharpHound at regular intervals. A good approach is to execute SharpHound with the all collection method at the start of your assessment, and then execute SharpHound at least twice a day using the session collection method. This will provide you with new session data and ensure that these runs are faster since they do not enumerate the entire AD structure again. The best time to execute these session runs is at around 10 when users have their first coffee and start to work again, and around 1400 when they get back from their lunch breaks but before they go home. You can clear stagnant session data in Bloodhound on the database info tab by clicking the clear session information before importing the data from these new SharpHound runs. You can clear stagnant session data in Bloodhound on the database info tab. Clear sessions. All right, benefits. Provides a GUI for AD enumeration. Has the ability to show attack paths for the enumerated AD information. Provides more profound insights into AD objects that usually require several mutual queries to recover drawbacks. Requires the execution of SharpHound, which is noisy and can often be detected by AV or EDR solutions. All right, I thought I had cleared my questions here already, so let's do that again. Reset progress. Yes, reset my progress. But I can already anticipate this question, so I have to... No. Where's the... Excuse me. What kind of command can be used to execute SharpHound.exe and request that it recovers session information only from the za.tryhackme.com domain without touching the domain controller? Is Control-Shift-V. But instead of all, we want sessions. What is it saying? Why is it... Oh. Okay, so you gotta hit the submit button 20 times in order for that one to be correct. Apart from the KRBTGT Kerberos ticketing account, ticket granting ticket account. Wow, how many other accounts are potentially Kerberostable? If we look at an analysis, there's Kerberos interaction. Why is it not? I wish I knew how to like clear the screen and whatnot. List all corrosible accounts. Do that now. Why are you... Let's just try unplugging it and plugging it back in, shall we? We did it. Looks like it's 4. Yay. How many machines do members of the Tier 1 admins group have administrative access to? Okay, 4. Is it? They can't both be 4, can they? I guess they can't. I think this refers to the entire outfit, the entire domain. There's just 4 computers. How did I do this? I just did this last night. Did I filter paths? Where are there 2 different sets of tier 1 admins coming up? Okay, there we go. It's 2. Here, read the question carefully. How many users in the tier 2 admins group? I think it's 7. Excuse me. I think that's what they mean. I think you gotta click that to freshen up the info there. Oh, 15. Why did I think it was 7? I always think it's 7. All right. Well, we got through this a lot faster than last night, at the very least. Even with having to wait over an hour for all the machines to reboot and rejoin the rooms and whatnot, we got done quicker. Enumerating AD is a massive task. Proper AD enumeration is required to better understand the structure of the domain and determine attack paths that can be leveraged for privileged escalation or lateral movement. Additional enumeration techniques. In this network, we covered several techniques that can be used to enumerate AD. This is by no means an exhaustive list. Here's the list of enumeration techniques that also deserve mention. LDAP enumeration. Any valid AD credential pair should be able to bind to a domain controller's LDAP interface. This will allow you to write LDAP search queries to enumerate information regarding the AD objects in the domain. PowerView. PowerView is a recon script, part of the PowerSploit project. Although this project is no longer receiving support, scripts such as PowerView can be incredibly useful to perform semi-manual enumeration of AD objects in a pinch. Windows Management Instrumentation. WMI can be used to enumerate information from Windows hosts. It has a provider called Root Directory LDAP that can be used to interact with AD. We can use this provider and WMI in PowerShell to perform AD enumeration. We should also note that this room focused on enumerating the structure of the AD domain in its entirety instead of concentrating only on identifying misconfigurations and weaknesses. Enumeration focused on identifying weaknesses, such as insecure shares or breaks in the tiering model, will be discussed in future rooms. If you're focusing on identifying weaknesses and such, I think that's a different part of the Lockheed Martin kill chain, but maybe I'm mistaken. Mitigations. AD enumeration is incredibly hard to defend against. Many of these techniques mimic regular network traffic and behavior, making it difficult to distinguish malicious traffic from normal traffic. However, there are a couple of things that we can do to detect potentially malicious behavior. Powerful AD enumeration techniques such as SharpHound generate a significant amount of login events when enumerating session information. Since it executes from a single AD account, these logon events will be associated with this single account. We can write detection rules to detect this type of behavior if it occurs from a user account. Do you always have to run an all? Can you? There's got to be a way to. I mean, typically you're only going to have a single credential pair when you start your enumeration phase, but if you get more than one, can you split up the work? We can write signature detection rules for the tools that must be installed for specific AD enumeration techniques, such as the SharpHound binaries and the add RSAT tooling. Unless used by employees of our organization, we can monitor the use of command prompt and PowerShell in our organization to detect potential enumeration attempts from unauthorized sources. On a side note, the blue team themselves can also regularly use these enumeration techniques to identify gaps and misconfigurations in the structure of the AD domain. If we can resolve these misconfigurations, even if attacker enumerates our AD, they would not be able to find misconfigurations that can be exploited for privilege escalation or lateral movement. Now that we have enumerated AD, the next step is to perform privilege escalation and lateral movement across the domain to get a suitable position to stage attacks. This will be covered in the next room. Answer the questions below. I understand AD enumeration and how we can possibly detect malicious AD enumeration. Oh, absolutely. I understand it all too well. All right. Thanks for joining me. And yeah, that's it for tonight. Thank you. Bye.